I think everybody needs to prepare themselves in their own way for what's about to happen with the economy and the state of the UK. There's many things that are broken about our current system, and these types of things have been rolling on. And after a period of time watching news reports and listening to stuff about jobs and money and Rachel Reeves and Keir Starmer, we get a little bit desensitized to what's going on, and often you get this kind of apathetic way that we'll just say, look, it's going to be all right. It's always all right. And that is true. It is always going to be all right. We're not going to have a Mad Max situation. But we are about to enter an extremely difficult time. Now, I'm going to give you a couple of data points today. I'm not going to get too far into the data, but I just really wanted to get one particular message across to you. You can call this a public service announcement if you like, or you can just say political waffles, just trying to help people. You can think about this any way you want to. Really, it's all up to you. After all, what do I know? I'm just a Geordie from up north and a man on the internet. So, a couple of things. The national insurance increases that Rachel Reeves put into place last year have kicked in at the start of this month. And next month, we're going to see some absolute carnage. But businesses do tend to plan forward. So, what happened in March? There were 92,000 jobs lost in the accommodation and food sector. Now, why were there 92,000 jobs lost? Well, mainly because most of the people, or a lot of people that are employed in the accommodation and food sector, are young people. And those people who are aged 18 to 20, effectively, what with the national insurance changes, the minimum wage changes, their pay for a business to employ somebody who's 18 to 20 has just gone up somewhere in between 20 and 25%. And so if you're a business and you're employing somebody, mainly young people aged 18 to 20, then that cost has gone up. It's gone up for everybody right the way up the line because the minimum wage has changed everything, and in essence it's pushed the actual costs up for minimum wage by about 7% to businesses, and the April figures are going to be horrific. We're seeing a drop in the total amount of jobs that are out there. It's the lowest ever for about 7 or 8 years. It's about 780,000 now vacancies, which is quite a low amount of vacancies. When you're looking historically, it's the lowest for 7 years. There's about 30 million people employed. But the size of the state has also increased somewhere up to 70,000, and that's in the kind of the health, the social sector, those types of jobs. Now, some of those jobs are in a private care setting, but some of those have gone to the government. So, losing people in the private sector, increasing the public sector, businesses under massive pressure. In addition, of course, the business rates have gone up for accommodation and food. So, the first thing that you're going to notice is that the accommodation sector, if you're going to go out for a drink, you're going to go out for something to eat, if you've got the money to do that, whatever it is, you're going to see a drop in service, mainly because those businesses are already like on a shoestring budget. They're already struggling to get through anyway. And so you've got all of these pressures at the moment on business, and you're probably thinking, well, it's going to be all right. You know what? It is going to be all right, but what's happening? The amount of vacancies are going down. The amount the government's making in taxes are going down. Our borrowing's going up, and the people in the public sector are going up. And we are about to reach that point. So imagine you're pulling an elastic band. You can pull it and pull it and pull it, and eventually, when it snaps, things happen. And we are on that cusp. And that's even forgetting about all of the job changes going on right now to do with AI. You know, I often speak to people about AI, and the thing they sometimes tell me is, oh yeah, you know, when I call up these companies and the voice on the other end of the line doesn't know what I'm talking about. Like, that's AI. And that's not. what AI is. That's just a telephony system. In the background, AI is already taking over a lot of jobs, and the simple fact is this. If you sit in front of a computer as a blue-collar worker and you don't speak to that many people, that job's going to be going within 5 years. If you are a blue-collar worker and you do speak to some people, you may have some extra time, but already that market is being affected. There are massive things happening at the moment. The government still thinks it's in the 1980s or 1990s, and they don't have the tools with which to deal with this. And Rachel Reeves is not a good economist. And we've got the worst of all worlds. We've got an approaching issue to do with jobs going down rapidly in the economy, and that's forgetting about full self-driving technology, which is going to hit in, it's already being used across America and some states by people continually. So there are some people that don't touch their steering wheel anymore, particularly in places like California, and that's coming here. And that is going to smash the driving jobs in this economy. And so all of these things are right on the horizon, but right at the moment, there's severe mismanagement of our economy. And so what's my message? What's my public service announcement to you? And I say this with full sincerity, and I hope you accept this information in the spirit with which I'm giving it to you, and you can discard it, as I said, or you cannot. We are in deep financial trouble. It's not going to be Mad Max, but we are going to go through a time of very, very intense, high unemployment, and it's coming soon before the next system is rolled in. And the amount of jobs available in the economy is going down and down and down and down, and the amount of people coming in is going up and up and up, as is the public sector workers. The economy is going to snap. It's going to snap. Now, if ever there was a time in your life where you felt, hang on, I better make some preparations here. I better prepare for this. It's now. Now is the time to prepare. Now, I'm not saying you should go and dig a bunker in your back garden or whatever. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that in financial terms, this country is going to go through the ringer before something happens on the other end, however long that's going to be. Nobody knows what's happening behind the scenes. And so, if you're in a position where you can perhaps take on extra work, take on a second job, for instance, I would recommend you done that right now. If you can buy some hard assets, maybe some gold coins or some silver coins or maybe a little bit of Bitcoin, go and buy that and do it right now. If you've got stuff hanging around your house and you think, you know what, I was kind of considering selling that on eBay, yes, do that right now. This is not a time to be playing fast and loose with your job either. This is a time to keep everything super cool at your workplace. This is a time to make sure everything's good. It's not a time to be leaving your job and looking for another job, because it's not that straightforward, particularly since the start of this year. And I know people in recruitment, and I'm telling you that since the start of this year, the whole game has changed. Whereas previously, somebody with a certain set of skills may be able to go and get a job. That's not there anymore. It's already happened. This isn't coming on the horizon in a few years. It's here right now, and people are not paying attention to it because the government, with the Office for National Statistics, the OBR, are lying to us. They're not telling us the truth. They're making everything look okay for the sake of the government, but it's not okay. This is not a time to be playing fast and loose with your job. This is a time to make some extra money, perhaps take on a second job. It's a time to tighten your belt a little bit. It's a time to go, hang on, do I really need to be spending that right now? Could I perhaps make do with this? And I'm trying to be real with you here. In that, people generally think, and people do this is a human condition, it's a certain bias where we believe that things are always going to go on as they always have in our lives. But that's not how it works. Sometimes decades go by, nothing happens, and then sometimes decades worth of action happen over the course of 2 or 3 years. And we are coming up to that. I'm trying to give you an ample warning here. I hope you take it on board in the spirit with which I'm providing it. But this is certainly a time for everybody to take a long, hard look at their finances. If you're in a position where you've got a little bit of credit card debt, get it paid off if you can. This is a time for you to seriously consider your financial position in all seriousness, and for you to get everything in order, because what's coming down the line here is going to be deeply unsettling to a lot of people. Okay? And I hope you'll take that message in the spirit that it was meant to. It's not going to be Mad Max. Okay? It's not going to be Mad Max. But it can still be deeply unpleasant. Anyway, thanks very much for your time.